we go.
Sounds like Mariah. Didn't it?
No, it's
No.
now.
No, the owl hooted earlier.
Okay,
All right, here we are.
here we are.
Oh, so I guess we'll bring the meeting to order at whatever time it is, 6 something,
6:10.
6:12, my
6:12. And I think what's gonna happen is Mariah is gonna look at this when she gets back.
Yeah.
And then she'll transcribe it or
Yeah.
whatever, so nobody's gonna actually scribble down minutes.
Right. But just in case you need a pen,
All right, I got a pen now. So first, we're gonna do the road report with
you want
Rodney.
a fat-free cookie?
Sure.
Does Rodney want a?
I might
fat-free
just,
cookie? Yeah, right.
I admit, I am a little hungry tonight.
We've been.
All I had to eat was hay and it weren't that good.
All right, we'll go ahead with your road report.
I think you got that thing from
Oh,
Sean Kelly.
the one you wanted me to read?
Yeah, well, that's the most important part is the numbers. The rest of it's just saying what they'll do.
Now, what he said he'd do is from start to finish, I guess.
Yeah.
And it only covers that first little section.
Yes. This is about the Stratford, in case anybody wants to know out there.
Oh,
Stratford Road slide just up from the intersection of 110. Sanborn and Head have given us a quote and a description of what they're gonna do. And basically, they're gonna come in and do some drilling for a couple of days and get a
2 days.
topographical map, I guess it was, of the whole underground area. And then they're gonna draw up a,
And so this don't do nothing.
no,
It's just getting us set up
Right.
to do something.
but anyway, they're gonna do this underground survey basically, and then they're gonna draw us a picture of what's underground. And then they're gonna help us with the bids, because they're gonna tell us what we need to do,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna help
He
with,
told me today, he handles all the bids and you
Yeah.
folks pick the person.
and then they're gonna stay on site for however long it takes to get the job done, to make sure it's done quality wise.
But bad news is, he doesn't think he can work fast enough to get it done this year.
Well, it says right here. We expect to complete expirations in September. Or within 4 weeks of receipt of signed agreement.
Yeah, then he will start the bid process and
Right,
find out.
Oh, yeah, won't get the work done this year.
No. And we could have done a little bit better, like I was just slightly put out with him today when I was talking to him, because. Like I told him, you hung on to the paperwork for a month. Before you sent it out to us. Irritated me just a little bit, cause I told him, now you've made it, so I can't get it done.
Did he
This
care?
year. He
Okay,
doesn't care.
just checking.
But I just had to offload on.
yeah, I don't blame you, because what are we gonna do in the meantime? We can't have a 1-lane road all winter.
Well,
Yes, we don't know. What else we gonna do?
Dump a bunch of coarse stone in there.
One thing I had in thoughts is that I have some Jersey barriers over there to the garage. And might set them right down next to the blacktop and fill it in for the winter and just barricade so they can't physically get to that area.
What's on the other side of the road? Can
Well,
you
see,
go out?
I think we can shove over just a
I
little
was gonna
bit.
say, could you go out there 10, 15 feet?
Well, I don't know if I can get that much, but I can get some right there that will,
If you put in a bunch of hard pack and stuff.
that we can set over. But I think we probably should drop something in that hole
Yes,
so it can't keep flushing.
Right.
When it thaws this spring, it should want to take out some more of the road if we don't have something there to help make it.
Well, something also to keep water from running over that, to keep it in the road.
So I think probably, and maybe this week, I don't know, probably not, probably next week. FEMA will be around to at least talk to us about what we're doing in the next section above it.
Isn't that on the 29th? She was coming in.
Was
Yeah.
from
29th is next Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
I think there was another meeting at that time, maybe a sightseer at that time also.
Well, she was gonna come here in person.
So. If we, and the guy says that he was gonna take care of them slides as soon as he can get here, and I would think that means he'll probably get started next week. Wouldn't hold myself to it, but I think that's what we're gonna.
That's what we talked about last meeting.
Right.
Good.
oh, the Alberghetti guy.
And the way I understood the meeting yesterday was that we would, if our roads are finished, we will receive a check for those roads that we have done up. And might not even anybody go look at them. That's kind of what it sounded like. And I kinda
This is from FEMA.
felt like, just. We should have never been listening to anybody say, hold up. 'Cause it just slowed us up, cause we were gonna have to fix it for winter anyhow.
That ain't our fault, really.
Oh, I understand that, not you folks whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we wanna sign this tonight and get it moving.
I think we have to, even though it's hard pill to swallow for $100,000.
What's our choice?
The other thing you need to think about, I talked with him today. And I, like I said, we're kind of over the barrel, we don't have very much of a choice now. But, this project is looking to be, possibly up to $400,000.
We're doing the job,
Yeah,
so it's $500,000 total. then.
well, no, this would include his price.
Oh.
But he also told me that his price is only a number, it might be lower than this.
Well, just look at page 3, paragraph 2, Mike. And it says there, the town, and I may not have written it down accurately, it says the town may choose to use agency of transportation to complete a topographic survey to save money.
This is page 3, what?
It says here, paragraph 2, so I don't know if it's right there.
Oh, town may elect to use a Vermont Agency of Transportation Survey Group to complete topographic survey. That what we just said.
Yeah,
Which would result in cost savings to the town.
so we might be able to shave a little bit off if we do that, but I didn't ask Chris Bump or anybody like that how we would do that. But so I think we still need to sign the contract, but just look into that part of it, see
Who's OCE?
what it says earlier, it's another,
Otter Creek Engineering.
yeah.
We plan to subcontract
Yeah.
Otter Creek.
yeah, Otter Creek was gonna do that drilling and all the like the
Oh.
physical work, and these guys are just gonna draw up the plans.
Okay,
So, yeah, I think we need to sign that thing.
okay. Well, it's only got room for one signature, so.
You wanna sign it?
I'm not gonna be
I think you need to make a motion now.
I'm not gonna be on the hook for this one. I make a motion that. What do you call that? Is that a bid or proposal or
Proposal, I think you call it.
that we accept the proposal for engineering services? From Sanborn Head. For the Stratford road slope
Sorry,
repair project.
you wanna put a dollar amount in there?
For not more than,
I've already lost it, it's 100,400 something. There it is.
for not more than $100,431.45.
All right, I second that since John's not here. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, there we go.
There we go. Another 100,000 on you guys' taxes.
I just jumped that down. Oh, I lost the signature page.
It's like the third or fourth
Oh.
page and very far.
I'll have it worn out. 2,
The,
3.
we can try Chris, see if he's interested in having somebody come out. He's been coming out all spring and all fall, summer now, and he ain't got here yet.
Oh,
You're the 22nd?
yes. Yes, all day.
All right, so we leave this for, and
Probably
Did-
better.
Mariah say that Bonnie had the instructions on where to send this back to? Okay. So what's up next?
Well, we're working on tightening up a couple of spots for the flood situation. And come along with that, tried to put some brakes on a ton truck. And don't you know, they've built everything so it's impossible to do nothing. That they couldn't move the plunger back, so we get the brakes put in.
Really?
And so I called up there to Chevrolet and asked them, what's the gig? Cause you go on telephone,
I bet I know.
you go on a telephone and you have to play with the dash and get all the lights on, and then you get a light comes up, says you can work on your brakes now.
Yep.
Well, this truck doesn't seem to have that particular situation going on. And so I said, well, what do we do? And he said, well, I'm gonna go out and talk to a mechanic, be right back. Went out to the mechanic and the mechanic says, we'll move really hard, but you can move them with a good bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now I need a new caliper. Because the good bar did not give up, the caliper gave up,
Huh.
and so now we're still at. We're still at the fact, we got 3 wheels to go, and how do you get the goddamn plunger to go back?
Those don't turn, do they?
No,
On our car, that Escape that Lori drives, in order to do that same thing on the back brakes, I had to disable the parking brake. And I can't remember, you had to turn the key on and off 2 or 3 times, and then you set the parking brake, and then do some things like that, and all of a sudden, you could push it right back in, not with your
I
fingers.
gotta check with somebody else, because the dealership up there apparently steered me in the wrong direction, I tell you.
I bet it's something like that, you have to tell the computer to, cause on our car, it isn't a handle or anything, it's just a little
Yeah,
button. you
it's a
pull.
button, like my wife's Subaru. You
Right.
just punch it.
But anyway, I had to do that, and once I did that in the right order, it worked slick.
I'm just telling you what happened to us, and that, so now it's laid up until a new one shows up, and it's a little over $400 for one of them little things, so I don't wanna bust any more of them.
What year is it?
2020.
I bet I can't figure it out. Chevy?
6500 series.
Chevy.
While he's dubbing around. Brenda and I went to the FEMA meeting the other night at Chelsea. The gentleman, Tim Baker, right?
Yeah, and Rod met him too.
Oh, you met
I
him?
actually, he was out there at the end of the Stratford Road looking for the culvert that was bad. And, I said, it's not in this area, it's up the road, and I said, I'll be happy to take you right up there and show it to you. And so we went up and he says, well, the GPS ain't even close to where we are today. I mean, on this. And so I said, but this is where we're supposed to be. He said to me that, as far as he was concerned, that it could come out. As long as we fit there wasn't there was no records on it being and which we can't find none. And the water, as far as I know, is not a registered trout brook that people can read online to go fishing here. I haven't been able to find anything that would say anything about that. So I don't think it's a registered trout brook either. And so we seem to fit everything. He said, do some ordering. And I said, I can't really order nothing until we find out just how big the pipe's gonna have to be, or the bridge is gonna have to be. And so now I think we're down to, they're gonna pay for a temporary and pay for the bridge. So what I'm trying to say is, I think they wanna shut the bridge down and put a temporary bridge in to get traffic. But that's kind of a toughie, because you come down the Stratford
Yeah,
Road.
yeah.
And you're gonna come out in here,
Yeah.
and then you go over here and down there.
Well, he told Brenda and I to if we could get a civil engineer in there and look at it, and I tried contacting the guy up to DTC. I thought maybe I could get him to do it for small money, but I ain't heard back from him, so. But what would happen if we could get like a box culvert thing and rip that out and drop a culvert in? I mean, is that feasible?
For me, that certainly would be, but.
I mean, how long would the road be laid up, do you think? I mean, it ain't that big a deal to me.
Well, it is when you get too many people involved.
Well, I understand that.
Chris Bump was supposed to get an engineer out there this week, so he says, to let us know
Well,
what this bridge is
right,
looking like and not.
what I
looking like.
was thinking, I mean, if somebody come in and told us we needed a 8-foot square
And
box culvert,
and Jenkins. Scott Jenkins is figuring out what size it needs to be.
okay,
That's a hydraulic study you mentioned in it.
That's what him and Chris Bump are working out, some kind of a hydraulic. And Chris gonna get that taken care of, and he's supposed to get,
well, the FEMA guys seem pretty easy to me.
I thought he was very nice.
And so I was just wondering if you got a culvert sitting there and you had Matt or somebody rip out the old one, have a crane or something, drop a new one in and throw some stones on it. Maybe it'd only be a day or so.
Well,
Instead of building another bridge is what I was thinking.
Well, doing like we did on Button Hill,
Right,
but we have a situation at hand.
what's that?
He needs to have a 4-foot culvert buried before we can take out the old culvert,
who says?
the water engineer.
Well, bury one somewhere.
And that's because we need to keep the water out of where they're actually doing the work.
Right.
Could you run the water down that side of the road for a ways? Where's the next culvert?
No, it wouldn't work.
We'd have, by somehow we'd have to come right across Fred Tuttle's driveway and,
You could do it.
it can be
Yeah,
done,
but
just
it's gonna
it,
be another whole,
but that'll take a week to get
Yeah.
that set in, and
Yeah.
then you take a week to get the other thing dug out, and as of right this moment, if we go culvert size, it could be 4 to 6 weeks before that culvert gets built.
Right.
well, yeah, I was thinking of not doing anything until. You have the culvert sitting there.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. He suggested if everybody said that the bridge was safe enough, he suggested we buy a big sheet of
That's what
metal
he said to me.
and we fill that back in and lay that big sheet of metal on top to hold.
Transfer the weight over across the road instead of,
And
Does it need to be one big sheet, you think?
why,
well, you couldn't put one big sheet across the whole road.
No, I just meant it.
But-
If it was
But
8
if
foot
you
long.
had a, I don't know,
I think he said that they
20
come,
foot long or something.
I think they don't quote me on that one, but I think they have what they call a road. It's made special for putting out there to patch a road. They got a name for it, I just can't think of it, but it comes 5 foot by 10 or some darn thing.
Well, just the guy, John Morrissey, that owns Arthur Button's old place in Chelsea, he's in the metal business. And when I was haying up there a few years ago, he had a bunch of those, well, not a bunch, 4 or 5 of those pieces that were like 4x8s. And they were an inch or an inch and a half thick or whatever. I mean, they were heavy. But I just wondered if we could borrow them from John or something for the winter, if he would allow it or sell them to us or whatever. But if you have to have these big long pieces, that would work.
Well,
I don't really
if
see,
they're 8 feet,
I don't really
and if
see,
they're inch thick, then
they ain't going
well,
anywhere.
they ain't going
They
anywhere.
might bite the snowplow, but.
Right. Yeah, that would be the next thing.
Well, I just cover mine up with some some hard pack or
Oh, I
something.
would have to build them up a little bit so that, cause I can picture
Yeah,
a plow shoe catching there.
Right. But anyway, ask him, because I've got John's number, I know him, I can ask him and
Yeah,
maybe we'll get away with it cheaper.
if we can, if we can just get somebody to show up, and we're in the works of trying to get somebody to show up. To give a yay or nay, and then we will know but I'm really hoping nobody comes through and says, oh, no, shut it down, shut it down, shut
Me
it down.
too.
Cause that'd be the worst thing that could happen to us, cause it's just, nobody's gonna move it all up there, and then we're forced with, how you get oil trucks there, and how you get this
Right.
there, and get that there.
Right, because we got the river on this side, so there's nothing, they just go up 110 and then. straight
Yeah,
over
they
the house.
can't get across any bridges up there, and yes,
We're gonna have to pave Hoyt Hill right up through to, was it Moody Road or whatever, and pave it right
yeah,
around.
see, probably that's what you're working on.
Bypass.
I bet you could take a jackhammer and jack that out and take the backhoe and just scrape that out and drop that piece of metal right in there.
That's an idea.
But the other idea is some of that Stratford Road there where we got troubles, and I'm not saying it's a great idea or a bad idea, but maybe the road needs to go that way and not
True. You mean the lower part of it down by Larry's house? where the
the,
slide is?
well, up where the second slide is.
Yeah.
That, if we could move the road that direction into that, but, cause the bank is steep, no doubt about it. The bank is steep, but it does have like a 50 to 60 foot flat right out through once you crawl up top of that.
Mhm.
And so,
I can say, I think the people who own a lot of the land there would be easier for you to work with.
They own up, I can't think of their names now.
Gabriel,
Yeah, but they own up that far.
they own up,
I
to-
think we actually might own some of that already,
Yeah,
the town. I don't know where that property drops down. The town line come down to the blacktop?
are you talking about down by Larry's house, that bottom
Yeah.
of Drew Road?
All that right up
I-
through
I
until,
think.
cause if you go up in there and if you go up in there, just almost just above where we're having troubles right today, there's a fence that goes right straight up
Oh,
to the road.
Yeah, I've mentioned it
And
to
I think
Rudy.
we own.
Really?
I think town already owns that down in there.
It comes out pretty close to the brook.
Yep.
That where the washout
yeah, the
is.
stream there, yeah,
And if you go up by the town forest.
Yep.
And you look at the line and you look on the left,
yeah,
you can see a stone wall
yeah,
that goes down and ends up pretty much where Rod's saying.
yeah.
Doesn't give you everything you want
No,
to
but
move things over, but you probably wouldn't have more receptive people possibly than these people.
Yeah.
To move that over more, I can give them
but
a year of tax free or something.
but
Some cookies.
you you gotta remember, if you stir the bank, you gotta remember, it might be a penalty for that. So we have to pay attention to that as well. We don't want this side of the road coming this way.
Right. Oh, I'm sure there's you'd have to shelf it or something and then get the right angle and all that stuff.
I did look at it and I said, yeah, that's a possibility, but my only. But I try to look at both sides of it, and that is that the brook is coming after us.
Mhm.
Gotta make sure the brook don't come to us,
Right,
even if we shove the road over.
yeah, it's gotta reinforce that bottom. What else get going on?
Oh, flat tire on the
Saw
mower,
that, Yeah,
flat tire on the backhoe.
oh geez. Who do you get to fix them?
Oh, we're fixing them right there at that
Oh.
garage. Mike got me the tire for the backhoe, but I just, I sent Jim out to get the, right after he got done picking the tire up, I sent him out to do a little job for me, and he got to the spot I wanted him to help with. And he noticed the back wheel was all wet, so I said, well, take it back to the garage and we'll see what the heck happened to it.
Mhm.
So the rest of our day got tied up in seeing how much we could have fun with that dump truck.
Oh, anyway, just get back to that, I did find some on here, on Google, how to do that.
You did.
Is it rear brakes or front?
Is it for a 6,500? Cause
That's what he said.
I went all through my phone and I couldn't, I got all kinds of things, but not one,
You got a
thing.
phone?
No.
No.
Been pretty quiet about that, hasn't it?
Oh, because
Been pretty
this is
quiet
being
about that.
recorded, right?
Yeah.
Well, it says here, how to replace the rear brakes, front brake replacement, 2014 to 21 Chevy Silverado, that doesn't have anything to do with it, but, so it may not be, but it says replacing front and rear brakes. It's 21 minutes long, so I won't open it up.
I'll look again and see if I can find something, but I haven't been able to find a thing on that truck.
No, this is 1,500 too, so,
Yeah, well, that's probably the problem.
yeah, that's probably the problem, so,
Yeah, and yours, you probably have to turn 3 circles and
yeah.
wink.
Could be, but what I'm really believing is that nobody's done any films on videos on that yet.
So that
Because
was a 2020.
Yeah,
I had to, I can't, nobody in the valley sells those parts. I had to go to a dealership to get them. Nobody's got listings, so I'm taking it, nobody's working on them yet.
right. Except for you.
Yeah, the salt business and this and that gets rough on them.
I don't know. They're probably-
Yeah, they just dump you right into pickups.
What happened to me?
On your,
No, I think it was my wife's phone now that I think about it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, Rodney. That's pretty funny, Rodney.
Um, So you're still messing around with flood damage and I
Oh,
see
yeah.
the grader's been out here and there.
And we're trying to.
Boy, you got T-Button Hill down, almost like blacktop. I shot up over there like a rocket sledding on rails.
15, 16 miles an hour.
Gee, I was hoping it would hold. We didn't know, but
Did you put finer material on that or something? It looks like it.
we usually do. Put finer material on it, but this time I said, we've had so much water and so much. The thing is so hard and this and that, and I said, why don't we try, just for the heck of it, why don't we try bumping it up one side? And it'll either jig like hell or it'll pack down and hold.
Mhm.
So because the fine stuff makes a beautiful road, but the fine stuff bite you in the spring of the year. And so I was trying to see if, because it had been so wet, maybe we could give a little bit of grip to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it worked. Okay.
What else you got? Anything?
I am just, well, if we can get out of the fixing these washes and this and that, then we might possibly start doing a little bit of grading, but I got scared stiff of grading when the weatherman said it's gonna pour like hell the next time it rains. Thank you.
Yep.
And so the roads are solid and I've been kind of leaving them alone.
Pretty good. That smells good. That's good.
I didn't think you could reach that far.
Oh.
Gotta give Rudy one.
He said he didn't want it.
I just had dinner.
Doesn't want to make it. His stomach upset.
How can your stomach upset, get upset on the peas?
That's about all I have to report to you at this moment.
Okay. Guess you can skedaddle.
All right.
Thank you, Rodney.
Yep.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Transfer station attendant interview. 6:30. No,
Not me.
we got an email on that and I. I think I didn't tell his name.
Yeah, we did get an email.
Doesn't agree to be there. Oh, and Karen Blow from the Horse Club emailed me. I don't know if she emailed you or not. I'll read you her email. It's out of order. So this is Karen Blow from the Horse Club. And you might remember me. I've been a contact person about the legal trails on Cal Hemingway's property and John at the rear. Are those trails still off as she wrote it this way, still off to horseback riding or has something new been decided. As you know, we host our trail ride at Tunbridge Fairgrounds each year, the weekend after the fair. Thank you for your time and reach out to me, blah, blah, blah. So I was gonna call her back and just say, I thought,
Who's, in charge of that trail? No,
Falls Hill,
yeah,
that's Sue Salster.
okay, Sue might be there.
But you're on Orchard. Did you mention Orchard too?
no,
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 Okay.
just Falls Hill.
she mentioned John Echeverria for some reason. But didn't we come to a conclusion with Cal Hemingway one night on the Zoom meeting about that if Cal wanted to allow horseback riding on his property, that he could
Of course, he came on his property.
Yeah. on the legal trail law? I thought we decided that that was okay. Maybe I'm thinking wrong.
I don't remember that. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I would, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care, but, I would think it would be a weather thing again.
Yeah.
If you have 700 horses go up there and it's muddy.
Yeah.
But I guess it wouldn't make any difference. Because Cal would have to approve,
Yeah,
the end of it.
Go ahead. So, can you hear me?
yeah,
So this is, we checked out the trail and Falls Hill, the legal trail is okay because of where, the water bars are. But Cal's portion of the trail and, Tim Angel's portion of the trail are pretty much impassable. So, and they had so much erosion from the last 4, episodes of storms that we've had. I think it's pretty much impassable for horses.
okay, I can tell her that. Do you think that if it's drier in the next, what,
3 weeks,
3 weeks?
4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we could take a look at it again. I mean, I don't know what she needs to know.
don't- Would it be okay if you talk to her directly?
Sure, I could do that.
I can give you her phone number.
And I know that Cal was okay with horses, but and after what's gone on with the weather, I'm not sure that he still is. I can get a hold of Cal again too.
Okay,
Right, because normally this time of year, you wouldn't even worry about it.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, if you're comfortable talking with Karen Blow, I'll give you her phone number.
Yeah, I have it actually, but yeah,
Okay.
give it to me again.
Well, it's 802-839-0147.
Got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tell them again.
839
01.
0147.
Correct.
Okay, will do.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was looking for that, I got sidetracked there. Looking for that email about the dump attendant. Yeah. I don't know how long ago that was.
It was a while ago.
Was it? Before August 9th?
No, I doubt that.
Okay.
Who sent it to you?
Mariah,
Right,
I probably could search.
Search Mariah, see if you can
Oh, that's,
narrow it down.
right, Tunbridge.
it's getting way too technical. I get befuddled. I think we're gonna have to though.
That happens so dusty yesterday.
Do you get
Nice day
befuddled?
today, huh, Rudy?
What's that?
Nice day today, huh?
It's gorgeous. I'll say it.
Trying to make sure
They said
why
it-
we're sitting here.
I know, they said that we've got some of the best weather right now in the whole United States.
Always have
And
better
also-
weather in most of the United States. Right? That's
Uh,
why we live here.
Well, it doesn't show up. The other ones. Oh, it says right here, it's part of the same one that she sent the agenda. Jamie Howe is the person who will be applying for the transfer station attendant job. His number is. Please call him if you want to discuss it with him prior to Tuesday. So apparently he's supposed to be here.
That would be my guess from
Yeah.
looking at this.
And do you know who Jamie Howe is?
No,
Does anybody in the room know who Jamie Howe is? Is Jamie Howe out there? Well, hearing that, I'll make a point, if we get done in time tonight, go home and call him. See if he wants to attend next meeting. If that's okay,
all right, with me.
all right. I assume it's a him, maybe it's a her. All right. So this next, we will go to Rudy for Falls Hill Trail, legal trail and trail signage approval. I see we had some pictures of signs in here that Jonathan, I think, sent along. Is that
Right.
part of what
It
you're
was
talking about?
one From Mike Head. That he was getting an estimate on, thought they would run about $20 a piece. There were other ones that folks had looked at that were running about $30 a piece. So Mike's were somewhat cheaper. I don't know that Jonathan has gotten an estimate from him for that many signs. The motion at the last Trails Committee meeting was to request $500 for 8 signs to post the trails. And that was with the hopes that they weren't going to be vandalized.
Yeah,
So that was the motion that was voted on, passed by a voice vote. So that was what I'm here about on that question.
and that number of signs would be adequate for what we need right now then, obviously.
And Vast has lent 3 trail closed signs for use for now.
Mhm. I think it'd be fine.
I do.
I don't know where the money would come from. I mean, the Trails Committee doesn't have a budget. Or anything, but I'm sure we just okay it and then we'll pay for it somehow. Well, we have budget for signs in general for
Right.
the road crew, so we can just,
So
so
take
we-
it out of there.
right. Okay,
I make a motion. We approve $500 to the trail committee for trail signage on the 4 legal trails.
all right, I second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Alright,
Aye. All right,
Okay, and then the second one was, I said I was gonna look into the documentation on, the Falls Hill Trail.
Yeah.
And I sent along an email
Mhm.
that, so. Cal, sir, I was incorrect in saying that he was at the meeting for the hearing. He was
Yep.
at a meeting for Ordway Road. Not for Falls Hill. So he was not present at that meeting. That was February 2nd, 2010. But there is documentation that, Wendy had sent the notice of the hearing to Cal, so it was not sent certified mail, so there's no way to say that he received it for certain, but there's a photocopy Mariah's got in a folder for the legal trails at this point that shows the letter was sent. T. Swayze was also getting one at that time regarding Swayze Road because that was under discussion at the same time. And then they, Stones had, said that the road had never appeared on any town highway maps. The 1949 map shows a trail over, and the USGS topo maps, USGS now has made it possible to see all of their old maps pretty easily, and it was on there from 1919 to 1981 as a road that went all the way over to Chelsea Mountain. In 1981, it got changed to a dotted line and labeled as a Jeep trail. And then in 1985, they took it off. And anything after 1985, the road does not show. Cal bought his land in 2000, I believe.
That's what you said, I thought it was before that,
It-
but you're probably right.
Possible I misread the,
You're
it's
probably
possible there
right.
may have been a deed older than what I looked at, the deed I looked at.
Time flies,
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah,
And the survey in 1974 that was done for the Delaney's shows the road entering the property and leaving the property. Whether that's the same, there's also indications, so as near as I can tell, the process of getting it onto the ancient roads list stopped with the third of a mile because it was not clear what happens at the height of land, where the road went from there.
so the third of a mile went to the height of the land then,
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
basically,
Yeah.
and to the point where the location of the road beyond there is not clear.
Yeah.
Seems that there was a road we've discussed in the past that got swallowed by the stream.
Right.
It appears there was relocation of the road.
but it was
Whether that
never-
road was ever laid out
Right,
is the part that's not clear. So that's why the rest of it did not get submitted,
well, that makes sense.
so. Then, it's clear it was submitted, I believe, with the hopes that it would go through someday.
Mhm.
Whether that's still feasible under the ancient roads statutes and stuff, I don't know.
Right,
That part gets really fuzzy. The intention of the ancient roads process was to return roads to landowners so that this didn't continue.
Right,
The reality has been that the courts have ruled that if it was an existing road that was never discontinued, then it actually is still a road. In spite of the ancient road stuff, there was a case called Doncaster that, they said if it was laid out and never discontinued. In this case, laid out is fuzzy. Because it was an old road.
But didn't you say that there was some documentation about the direction this way and that?
Yeah.
But you couldn't make head nor tails of it.
And there appears to be a petition that I'm still trying to make heads or tails of, that asked to have the road discontinued, and that was denied.
Yeah.
By the select board at the time. Which road that was is not
Right.
clear to me. Was that the original road? Was that a
Right.
different road? It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
So, had, it's just my opinion, but, given the small amount of public land and the increasing interest in recreation, I think it would be unwise to give up, to discontinue a road.
Mhm.
I think that was the recommendation of the town plan. But this is fraught with all sorts of complexities.
seems to me though, if we can get Tim and Janet Angel to agree to a trail on their property, and then get Cal to agree to a trail going from the
Yeah.
the remainder of,
Timmy's.
So there's about 700 feet in
Yeah.
between where the legal trail ends now and the edge of Cal's property.
Yeah. It seems like if you could come to that agreement, there wouldn't be any more trespassing from people leaving the end of the legal trail, as Cal's talked about. They would just stay on a trail. It would take them all the way through. And then we keep our legal trail then.
Yeah, and I understand Cal's discomfort with it
Yeah.
at this point. But in the bigger picture, I feel like the interest in further recreational access to trails is probably gonna keep growing.
Yep.
As our population grows.
This is probably something you can't answer, but Cal says that he was not notified. And he didn't become aware of the fact that he had a legal trail until what, 2021 or whenever it was. Did you find anything to indicate that he maybe had been sent a letter and he forgot about it or something, or?
Yeah, that part, it was, the letter that was sent and the photocopy of the envelope
Mhm.
that showed it to the correct address.
But there's no saying that it actually got there and he read it though.
Correct.
what he
It
said.
was not
It
sent,
wasn't
it was not sent as certified
Yeah.
mail.
So maybe he didn't get the letter.
Possible he never saw it.
Yeah.
Um,
The only reason I think of that is because I don't have a foolproof memory, and if you ask me what happened 10 years ago, I might say absolutely not. And then you
Oh.
show me proof that it did happen.
There's there's nothing on his deed that says that there's a right of way.
the survey shows, as I mentioned, the road entering and the road departing the property. I don't have to read the deed again. I don't recall a reference to it.
Cause I would think, when you bought it, it would say, on the north end, blah, 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 there's a right of way, kind of Tunbridge right of way or something like that, but I don't know that, I'm not up on that stuff.
Yeah, I would have to read the deed deed again. It does show on the survey,
But this,
but it doesn't show, it's interesting that it doesn't show
Yeah.
interior of the property.
Yeah.
It shows it
Just the way it comes in.
entering and departing.
but you say it was the Delaney, what year was that?
74 was the survey.
Oh. And were they the only owners between then and Cal?
Yeah,
So it seems like if a lawyer did a title search or whatever, they would pick up on that and it would be transferred from one
I
deed to the
think they
next.
would have seen the survey.
And Cal's deed doesn't say anything about that?
Hates the-
Don't recall it being there,
Yeah.
but I can check the deeds again.
How
But the
often?
basis, the basis of the roads clearance. Basis of the ancient roads clearance was the fact that it had been a road for a long time, and that USGS program for topo maps started in the 1880s, and the first ones in this area were 1919.
Yeah.
And it shows as a road on that map.
And there's been no evidence that it had been discontinued at any time then?
No,
I mean, there is evidence that the other side. What was it, what did you say, there's a petition to discontinue it?
so there's evidence that the original road, the continuation of that going over was discontinued when it got swallowed by the stream.
Yeah.
And it appears that there was another road laid out to replace it. And that's the part I think is described as being petitioned to have discontinued. And the select board at the time denied that
Gotcha,
petition.
okay, yeah. All right, well, thank you for your investigative work.
Yeah, and I don't know what else is helpful at this point, so, I will check the deeds
Yeah,
again,
just,
to
I mean, I
have that.
don't know how convoluted that is, but, see if it says something on it or.
That was
Calm
loud.
down, Brenda.
Somebody's dogs are not happy.
Somebody did-
Hey, Rudy?
Yes,
Yeah, it's Maureen McCullough. Sorry about the dog. Sorry. I believe that when I looked at Cal's deed, it said it was unencumbered, which would mean that there was no evidence of any road there. I mean, when he bought it.
okay, that would be the part I would have to read through again, but that
Yeah. I mean,
seems like if it says unencumbered, then it was not recognized as a right of way.
right. Yeah, check that out. But, I looked at it a long time ago, so.
Okay,
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Maureen.
Yep.
All right, well, I think we need to proceed somehow onward because Cal wants a resolution and I think we want a
So
resolution.
we'll leave it in Rudy's capable hands for the time being.
Time being. Anything more to add, Brenda? Or
I was just thinking of my neighbor's deed. Jeffrey Lentz spent a few years taking care of a well that had nothing to do with his house. So sometimes those deeds, unfortunately, are not complete
Yep,
as they pass hands.
it amazes
Well,
me.
my wife just ran into one in Royalton. And there'd been, a family farm and then they split it up for all the kids. And they drew the map out with pencil. and there's no measurements. Or anything indicating where the lines went. And so everybody's guessing. You know, who
Right.
owned, you
Yeah.
know, where the,
That's gonna be a mess someday.
Yeah.
And there's so many old deeds that you just say 300 acres plus or minus or whatever, and they don't give you any description or anything,
or to the big white birch tree
right?
in 1770.
All right. What are you here for, Brenda? You just,
I was just gonna see if you had any, did you see the generator and?
no,
Oh, no,
what's on the agenda here for
I
that?
was
That's a
so,
good sign in a way.
It's a good sign, but unfortunately, it's not totally complete. We kind of got stood up by Green Mountain Power that day.
Well,
I was so excited to get in here.
But we do have it all set there. And we
Let's-
didn't disturb very much the historic soils.
all right, well, let's go to other business right now, and let's walk outside. We're gonna briefly get away from this machine, and we're gonna go outside and look at the generator. We'll come back for all you anxious people out there.
We could carry a hoodie out with us.
We could.
So he's got one panel. Is down here. One guy spent the whole time down there adding in that additional stuff here, Simon said shit, the wiring, I guess is undersized in the whole building. And then at the last minute, I told them we had a conference calling me and said that they had got that. So you had to add in a little wall down there. So you're doing well, work.
I think everyone's abandoned us.
Really?
So everyone else, like, they fled.
You'll have that.
Guess when the show get boring, they just
Yeah,
tune out.
yeah.
Gary, don't forget to tell like, the meeting, was it next week with FEMA?
29th, wasn't it?
Yeah, 29th at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
And they're coming here in person, thank God, because that phone
Who's
thing was
that?
awful.
ARPA,
Oh.
or not.
No,
ARPA,
FEMA.
FEMA.
FEMA. It
Yeah, I
sounded like a
was
few of
doing it.
them.
I was gonna tune in yesterday and then. Same as everything, 3 people walk in at 11:15.
It was really hard by having one phone like that. I was surprised they did it like that and not Zoom.
Hmm,
It made it very hard, but at least you're coming in person now.
Yeah, and it was, I thought it was productive no matter what, anyway.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's very hard. Rod, the problem is Rod couldn't hear a lot of the guys,
Yeah.
especially the ones that were fast talking.
Mhm.
Or had a slight accent, but not as bad an accent as the one you and I had. That guy was impossible.
Yeah.
For us.
But didn't one of the guys at the tail end of the meeting say that, like, on the Tuttle Bridge, we could actually get FEMA funding for that?
He said we can get FEMA funding for the temporary fix for the winter. And we could get funding for the actual work done as long as it wasn't a question mark that we had someone plugged in.
Yeah, we had to bid it and get
And
it.
bid it, and we knew it was this amount.
Yeah.
And it was gonna happen when the roads could, in the spring.
So that was interesting,
Yeah, that
Wow.
was. They looked like they were really trying to assist us.
right? I mean, I guess I was just impressed with that.
well, I was impressed the other night with that Bacon. Cause he acted like he wanted us to. You know,
Get going.
get with it and
Mhm.
fix everything.
Yeah.
I
Well,
kept thinking if the state was slow to act on it, I know Rod hates it, but one way to get their attention is to close it, because we don't know if it's safe.
yes,
And it, as uncomfortable as that is for everybody, it would get their attention.
right.
I think they're busy, and we've sort of been on the back burner.
Right.
Because people could still travel,
Mhm.
but it is kind of questionable.
But also that Rod said tonight that I can't remember the figure, but X amount of our roads are almost done, and so we
Yeah.
sort of finish them, then we can get a lump of
Get a
money
check.
to help us with our cash flow, so that was good.
Yeah, as far as everybody's saying, wait, go, that's what happens in the beginning of FEMA.
Yeah.
Every time, it's just the nature of the beast. And you kind of gotta follow what you're being told,
Yeah,
because the state was telling us to wait,
Yes,
then they were saying go emergency,
yes.
so you wanna get the money, so you're feeling back
You're
and forth.
playing,
until you
you're
get it
playing the
right.
game.
well, I think the most important thing is also to document, to like, go out with Mariah,
Right.
take all these pictures.
Well, I think that was a real
Right,
good thing when
Yeah.
she and Rodney went around everywhere.
Yeah.
And she documented everything.
and get these GPS
Yeah.
pictures and
Right,
everything.
and so if somebody says something, she can pull it right up.
Yeah.
And I think I have pictures of when it overtopped.
Yeah.
Cause I was there when it overtopped.
Tunnels,
Yeah, I happened to be driving up that way and Sean from Tuttle's was standing on the road going, it's coming over.
yeah,
And I actually parked my car up and had to run up there and keep moving it up.
Yeah.
It really
You
overtopped.
ever seen her car,
no,
wherever she wants?
oh.
Do you know where when I pulled out the other day? There's a hypodermic needle laying there.
Really,
Yeah,
right out here,
no, right up at Tuttle, the
oh,
bridge.
yeah. I'm not surprised, disheartening,
This one, man. Okay,
thank you, Brenda.
thank you guys.
Hey, Brenda,
Here, Ray, did you find that?
I just found the deed and, so it does not mention the road at all. I would have to, there's a bunch of pins set. It looks like they may have been set on either side of the road possibly, but the wording is that, where'd it go? The property is subject to all public utility line easements and rights of way as are of record.
That's big.
If we can only find the
The
record.
record, right? So. The unencumbered part is a different kind of standard wording in a deed at the end that say,
Right,
I own the property.
Right.
Unencumbered.
Right. There's not a mechanic lien on it or something.
Guys,
Thank you, Brenda. Go straight home.
Anything else on the list?
MRGP annual report, I gotta sign it,
What's that?
Maybe it's in our packet.
I would see it.
What would MRGP stand for? Unless it's.
Rudy. What's MRGP mean?
Oh, here, it is.
Oh, last page.
Watershed Management Division, Stormwater Program,
Oh, yeah. The municipal roads general permit.
there you go.
See, I knew he knew.
Yeah. The municipality has updated the implementation table portal to reflect any changes in road segment status, fully, partially does not meet. And any changes to the hydrologically connected road
Hey,
segment
that's pretty
status.
good.
That would be the Stratford Road
Okay,
and Spring Road. Those are the hydrologically connected ones where it's and Monarch Hill as well. So the places where the road's right on the stream.
oh, okay, that's what that means. Hmm.
Hmm.
Do you think I should sign this thing?
I think you should
Okay,
find by a ranking elected official.
I certify
That
under
would be you.
penalty of law that this document and all attachments were prepared under my direction. Uh-oh,
That's not good. To the best of your knowledge,
Right,
there are significant penalties. Possibility of fine and imprisonment,
would they take your farm away too?
yes,
Okay, all right. Hey,
but not your bills.
oh, darn it. I don't want to take the farm anyway.
All
So,
the bills and square bills today.
yep, Dwayne did too, my lawyers did.
Oh, you get the call. When I went by Dwayne and the baler and the wagon on, one tire on the tractor was.
Oh,
on.
really? It's better than he thought. I told him I'd help him. He did that field because that's the dry one.
I know. He's right down, near the road.
Yeah.
Lower
Ah,
side. there.
Yeah. If it's still light, when you go back up Spring Road, just beyond Sherlock's. There's the bowl, we call it,
Yeah,
look down over the bank,
Well,
yeah, did you see it?
I glanced over at the hay and that didn't look too choice.
No, he muddied it, Doug muddied it up, just mowing it. Oh, it looks awful.
Yeah.
And he did it best job he could.
Yeah, but
He thought maybe he'd get 100 bales there. Of what he could bale. All right, so that's next, and then the other stuff is just other business.
want some approved minutes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna
Start
go
warranting.
through, we got a liquor license. September 2nd. At,
That's a Saturday.
John's,
Oh, must be a wedding.
I think I saw that here somewhere, weddings at Land Goes Farm. So I guess
We'll just
if
put
you
it on
wanna
there.
approve it,
So Mariah, when you watch this exciting film, we are approving this. Liquor license,
document,
802 Cocktails LLC. Business address, Naples, Florida.
yeah,
How the heck would they have an
I
802?
thought that was weird. Probably they own them all over the country.
Probably. License address, Williston. Sounds fishy, but all,
Sounds like nothing else I'm gonna be helpful with at this point.
no, I think it was just pretty straightforward. Thank you for your help, Rudy.
You bet,
Alright.
thank you.
Unless you're good at, reading minutes and fixing the mistakes.
Are you good at proofreading?
I probably,
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy to proofread them if you want.
No, we're all
No,
set.
I'm just kidding you.
John usually does it. John's really
Yeah,
good, so.
we stick it on John. So,
All right, I hope you guys have a good evening.
thank you,
Thank you,
Rudy.
Rudy.
You enjoy the evening.
Why don't you shut that thing off, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it adjourned at 7:30.
Yeah. We're just gonna sign warrants and.
Yeah.
Do the minutes from now on, so.
Sign the warrant. Nobody's with us anyways, so.